It's made a big cut in its forecast for economic growth in 2025 from 1.5% only 3 months ago to a mere 0.75% now. That's bad news for a government which has made growth its primary mission. Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Neil. This is The Times at 1. Chancellor Reeves will welcome the Bank of England's cut in its benchmark interest rate from 4.75% to 4.5%. But it's just about the only good news the bank had for her, which has turned out to be a real drag on the economy. Though the bank is not blunt enough to say so, it's quite a damning critique of Rachel Reeves's economic policy to date.
Rachel Reeves's carefully crafted image just shattered on live TV. In a gripping confrontation, Andrew Neil exposed the Labour Shadow Chancellor's questionable claims about her professional past. From inflated work histories to misrepresented roles, Reeves's credibility crumbled under Neil's relentless questioning. But that's just the beginning. Stick around to witness the moment Reeves realises her political house of cards is tumbling down. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us.
There's more bad news. The bank expects inflation, currently 2.5%, to spike at over 3.7% in the summer, largely thanks to rising energy prices. And it doesn't expect to get back to its inflation target of 2%, but will rise by 0.1% in the first 3 months of 2025. Economic forecasts as fine as that are simply not bankable. We could indeed have slipped into a technical recession.
So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Rachel Reeves's proud boast of a decade-long career at the Bank of England seemed like a solid foundation for her political aspirations. After all, who wouldn't trust someone with extensive experience at one of Britain's most prestigious financial institutions? But as Andrew Neil's investigation revealed, Reeves's claims about her time at the bank were about as sturdy as a house of cards in a hurricane.
Until the end of 2027. The bank thinks we've avoided a recession, but it's on a knife edge. It thinks the economy shrank by 0.1% in the last 3 months of 2024 before spring has sprung. In essence, the bank is forecasting a stagnant economy, higher inflation, and rising unemployment in the aftermath of the Chancellor's first budget last October.
Neil's relentless questioning exposed glaring inconsistencies in Reeves's timeline, leaving her scrambling for explanations. It turns out that her decade at the bank was more like a brief stint, and her role was far from the high-flying economist position she'd implied. Instead of crunching numbers and shaping monetary policy, Reeves was handling customer complaints and service inquiries. Not quite the same as advising on interest rates, is it? When confronted with these discrepancies, Reeves's team tried to brush it off as an administrative oversight. Oh, come on. That's like saying you forgot to mention that your years of culinary experience were actually spent flipping burgers at the local fast food joint. It's the kind of excuse that might work for a forgotten dentist appointment, not for misrepresenting your entire career history. But here's the real kicker. If a politician can't accurately represent their own work history, how can we trust them with the complexities of economic policies and national decisions? It's like hiring a plumber who claims to have fixed leaks in Buckingham Palace, only to find out they've never even held a wrench. The fallout from Reeves's exaggerated claims has left the public questioning her overall credibility. What other administrative oversights might be lurking in her background? Has she been equally creative with other aspects of her resume? It's as if we're watching a political version of Whose Line Is It Anyway?, where the facts are made up and the truth doesn't matter. This whole debacle serves as a stark reminder of the importance of transparency and honesty in political leadership. It's not just about getting the facts straight, it's about maintaining the public's trust. When politicians play fast and loose with their own histories, it erodes the very foundation of democratic governance. Just when you thought Rachel Reeves's credibility couldn't take another hit, along comes the HBOS bombshell. It seems Reeves took the fake it till you make it mantra a bit too literally in her role at Halifax Bank of Scotland. But how far did she go, and what did Andrew Neil uncover that left her squirming in her seat? Reeves had painted herself as a high-flying economist at HBOS, implying she was a key player in shaping financial strategies. It's the kind of impressive background that voters eat up. A politician who understands the intricacies of our economic system. But as Andrew Neil's relentless questioning revealed, Reeves's portrayal of her HBOS position was about as solid as a house of cards in a hurricane. The truth, Reeves's actual role at HBOS was far from the economic powerhouse she'd led everyone to believe. Instead of crunching numbers and advising on fiscal policy, she was primarily handling customer complaints. That's right, while real economists were analysing market trends and developing financial models, Reeves was dealing with angry customers and pushing papers. This revelation isn't just embarrassing, it's a stark reminder of how politicians often embellish their CVS. But there's a world of difference between a bit of resume padding and outright misrepresentation. Reeves didn't just stretch the truth, she reinvented her entire professional persona. The implications of such deceit are far-reaching. How can voters trust a politician who can't even be honest about their work history? It's not just about the job title, it's about integrity, honesty, and the ability to lead with transparency. If Reeves is willing to fabricate her professional experience, what else might she be willing to fudge when it comes to policy decisions or public statements? But wait, there's more. As if the role misrepresentation wasn't damaging enough, Neil had another ace up his sleeve. During Reeves's tenure at HBOS from 2006 to 2009, there were whispers of an internal investigation into her expenses. The allegations suggest potential misconduct related to the use of company funds for personal luxuries. Talk about adding insult to injury. This shocking revelation paints a picture of a politician not just content with inflating her job title, but potentially abusing her position for personal gain. It's the kind of scandal that can end careers and destroy public trust. And let's not forget, this was happening at a time when HBOS, like many banks, was facing its own financial troubles. The irony of a self-proclaimed economist potentially misusing funds during a financial crisis is not lost on anyone. The fallout from Rachel Reeves's encounter with Andrew Neil serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of political personas. As the dust settles, we're left with a sobering realization: the carefully crafted image of a competent, experienced leader has crumbled under the weight of scrutiny. This incident doesn't just tarnish Reeves's reputation, it chips away at the already fragile trust between the public and those who claim to represent them. But let's not lose sight of the bigger picture here. This debacle underscores a crucial point. We, as voters, must remain ever vigilant. It's not enough to take politicians at their word or be swayed by polished PR campaigns. We need to dig deeper, ask tougher questions, and demand concrete evidence to back up lofty claims. After all, if we can't trust our leaders to be honest about their own backgrounds, how can we trust them with the complex challenges facing our nation? This isn't just about Rachel Reeves or any single politician, it's about the health of our democracy. As one political commentator aptly put it, the ongoing scrutiny of political figures like Rachel Reeves highlights the necessity for voters to remain vigilant and critically assess the claims made by those in power. It's a call to action for all of us to engage more deeply with the political process, to fact-check, to question, and to hold our leaders accountable. Only then can we hope to restore some semblance of integrity to our political discourse.